Hey, we are here. Thank you,
Yeah.
those that are joining us now. Welcome to our Healers Talk Tuesdays as we continue at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time weekly, going live and talking about energetic things, everything energetic. And so today's topic is relationship and breakups from an energetic standpoint.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm like an introduction. My name is Anuschka. I'm an empowerment health coach and energy healer.
Hello, I am Jacob Moya, and I am also a healer, a therapist, and a researcher.
Love it. I love that you're adding researcher to your title.
Well, you know
That's
what?
what
I
you
kind
do.
of prefer that one the best because that's what I really enjoy, discovering things, figuring out things. I love that
Yeah.
part. Yeah.
And I feel like you
Yeah.
do. You're always discovering something newly. You're always
Yeah.
handling something newly. So it's
Yeah.
amazing. I love it. So
Thank you.
yes, relationships and breakups. Let's talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
relationships.
Well, it's I wanted to touch bases on this because it's one of the things that really create a lot of stress in in ourselves. How we most of the time the way we see ourselves, it's a mirror of the statements that the people around us, especially the ones that are close to us, is providing us. It's the feedback that they are giving us. If they accept us, we have this beautiful image on ourselves, and when they criticize us, we end up having this awful version of ourselves in our minds. And it really does a difference, makes a difference in the way that your world, your reality works from that point of view. And so what is very important here is to understand who we are at that energetic level, and what part of us we are sharing with the rest of the world, and then what happens when that other person decides to go, or you decide to go into a complete different path.
Mm.
And it's like I said, this energetic point of views not necessarily are what everybody is seeing, what is obvious and logical. But what I love is to bring a little bit of what happens inside of you at an energy level when you going through these different phases of your life, and so we can see and understand better how we are and where we're coming from, and what is making us react at that particular point, right? So we can start with the beginning, right?
Yeah.
When
Well,
when
one
when
thing that just you saying that, something that came to me just now, it's also from the energetic side, right? What there is that needs healing is what we tend to attract as like a mirror in a sense, right?
Yeah, well, it's for me, it's a little bit even deeper than that, because we have this situation, it's yes, you're talking about polarity and you're talking about balance. What is creating balance to me, what I am creating polarity with. But from an energetic standpoint, this is also, what you have to show to someone else, to teach to someone else, and what do you have or need to learn from someone else, you see? Because in the way that I see things, we are always in this continuous search of trying to figure out things in our life. And but it becomes a point where you learn everything that you needed to learn from that particular person, and then you move uh, either out of a relationship or into another relationship, and you keep many of the lessons that you learn from your past, and especially traumas. How many times we see or we experience ourselves getting triggered by something else, or attracting the same type of personality with a little difference,
Right.
with a
Like a
little,
pattern. Totally.
exactly, but it's kind of like the same thing. So it gives you a lot of information. Relationships give you a lot of information about you and about others, you know, about what you are doing with yourself, what you are creating for yourself. What's your reality? What is it that you are really accomplishing and try to master that you don't get? And then, you know, the shifts that happen within the relationship. So let's start at the beginning.
Yes.
Shall we? Because at the beginning, it's beautiful, you know, why we are looking for a relationship, you know, why we are in search of another person. What's the need that we have inside of us? Okay, like I said before, our natural way is to always grow. That's energy, like dense energy, always gonna flow or follow a higher vibration energies, and that's why that energy gets merged. And when we do in our meditations, the release of energy, when we're clearing our chakras and stuff, is precisely because dense energies turn to create holes in ourselves, and they tend to accumulate in our aura field, especially if you have a higher vibration, like if you're a healer or something of that sort, you know? So it's energy in need, with a need to evolve. Now, you also have things that you are working, and now I'm gonna go a little bit spiritual on Google Land, right? And this is about the things that you live and experience in another times that you are trying to either experience in the opposite role or try to come to terms with it, you know, as a part of your identity, as a part of who you are. So for example, if you were a cheating husband in the past, this is probably right now you're gonna be a cheating wife, a cheated wife. You know, they're gonna cheat on you. You know, because the world have this, and it's not even the world; it's ourselves. We have this amazing way to recreate scenarios where we can experience the other side of the personality that we were working on, or that we were acting, or that we were affecting. That's why we have this saying that karma sucks, or karma's a bitch, or I don't know how they say it. Yeah, because you see it happen all the time, you know, that if you take something for someone else, eventually someone else takes something from you, you know, and so you can experience that. And it's a great way that we have to heal everything that we need to heal inside of us. Because without it, we will go out of balance. You know, we will go into only one direction. And remember that we are experiencing the body in order for us to go through all the different ranges of emotions and experiences to keep evolving and evolving and evolving and evolving. You know, put it this way, it's like if you are hungry and you go to a restaurant and you eat, it becomes a point when you're full. And it becomes to a point like, even if you love the restaurant, and if you like the scenery, the people, the ambient and everything, you get tired of it, right? Because you fill up all the need that you have it for food, for the environment, for everything. And now you need your quiet time. So the same thing happens in life. Life is a reflection. The life outside of us is a reflection of the life inside of us. So in life, it's the same way. We're going through different patterns, different experiences in order for us to come to terms with them and move to a different experience, move to a different environment. So now, when you start a relationship, you usually look for certain particular traits. Nowadays, we tend to focus more on the physical aspect of the relationship, you know? And you see, I don't know if you, because it's been a while since I watched regular TV, but I remember that at one point all these dating coaches were like, and the dating programs, TV, like reality shows were like amazing, and everybody was watching them, right? And it's all about how that person look, you know, and how am I attracted to that person, or I am not attracted to that person. It's not how they are emotionally, it's not how they make you feel, and the compatibilities that you have. Is how it looks physical. So then you start the relationship at the physical level, and that's fine. That's totally fine. The only challenge is that if that relationship, it's only complementing your lower chakras, which is the sexual, the physical act, you know, the ego side of you that, yeah, it makes me feel good to have a very beautiful person next to me. But if it doesn't match what you're feeling inside, the connection, the exchange, what we call love, unconditional love, that you are there for that person is there for you, then we're going to have this problem, right? That the relationship is going to become, it's going to reach an end point, right? Why? Because it's like going hungry to the restaurant. You know, you were without any person to have intimate moments with, and you find one, and you say you're attracted to that, and you satisfy yourself, and then it comes to a point when you get tired of it. You know, it's like, yeah, I don't want to keep eating in this restaurant. You know, I have so many other options. Why should I remain eating in the same restaurant, the same table with the same customers getting the same food? You know, I had it. You know, you need to have a different experience. Now,
connection, like deeper than the surface is what I hear in that. Yeah.
Because that's a physical relationship, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But now, when you open up yourself to an emotional relationship, then all those differences that you can only see at the physical level start becoming complements. You know, it's like, I don't like to party that much. I'm tired of the loud music. I'm tired of the social scene. I'm you know, I have enough of that. And the person that you are with is all like very happy and, hey, let's go party. And, well, the thing is that you probably need a little bit of entertainment and a little bit of forgetting about the seriousness of life, and just let yourself loose and dance a little bit and shake a little bit the booty. And just connect with other people, you know, and that's gonna help you in so many ways. But she also, I'm talking about a heterosexual relationship, but she also probably also needs to take it down a notch, right? To not go out, to don't go out every single weekend, you know, to start getting herself interested in other topics a little bit more deeper, and so on and so forth. And because of the emotional connection, you guys start seeing the complements on each other. You know, you start seeing the balance each other. So then you start a relationship, right? That is when you actually become official and exclusive, and they have other terms right now that I don't remember, but it's all about, you know, I gonna be just with one person, right? And we're gonna give right, and we're gonna give ourselves a chance. And if you move together, you start getting to know that person better, and she start getting to know you better, and so on and so forth, right? And it's all about that. As long as the emotional side of the relationship remains active, as long as the emotional side of the relationship remains being the glue that is keeping this relationship together, and the physical aspect of the relationship is working, because if that one is not working, it's out of balance, you know.
So speaking of that, actually, because like one thing I, you know, with relationship coaching and whatnot, one thing I'll notice is sometimes people aren't on the same page, right? Because there's phases. Like you meet someone and then you're in the dating phase where possibly they're both dating other people. But then there's possible that maybe like the guy is dating other people and the female is not, or vice versa, right? So one becomes more attached energetically and emotionally than the other one. Right. So then that becomes a little bit of like a tough scenario, right? So that's something, I mean, could you speak to that? Because that's something like,
yes, definitely.
A lot of people are always like, they want to play
that's
the game,
the reason why,
right? They play the game, and it's like, well, then that's not authentic, and blah 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 blah. So
that is very normal to happen when you are not ready for a relationship, you know, because this is the thing, and we've been talking about this in other live events that we have, another healer talks that we had before, because this is what happens. When you are not ready for a new person, if you cannot find reasons for you to be lovable and acceptable for yourself, you are sending that subliminal message to the people that are around you. And even though you don't notice it, you start acting as don't love me, don't take care of me, and so on and so forth, right? And there's a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to relationships, because remember, men and women are different, right? And even if it's the same sex relationship, it's the same, because you need both personalities. You need the strong personality, the male version, and then you need the female soft personality in order to create polarity, right? If you just have two male personalities, they're gonna be fighting each other. You know, if you have two female personalities, you're gonna be fighting each other. You need to have that balance. You truly need that. I mean, it's part of nature. That's how we are. Because if not, if you get someone that is exactly like you get tired and bored. You know, it's like, yeah, and we never fight, but we never have excitement in life as well, right? And because you don't have any motivation or anyone pushing you, hey, let's go out, hey, let's meet new people, hey, let's go travel, and you're like, oh my God, no, I'm so lazy, no, I want to stay in there. But she drags you out, or the person drags you out, and you are outside and you enjoy the time. But you have to go with the mindset that this is complementing me. This is not like this is affecting me. I'm here because of you, not because I want to be here. Because then it becomes a problem, you know, then you start creating blocks. Now, I use a lot this analogy of blocks because it's very, very, very good. I mean, and allow us to see the things in a different way. And I hope that you guys can use this, the people that are watching us, that they can see how this works in their lives. Every time that you are with someone, you start like with very level land, right? It's like there's no history. You barely know each other. You have attraction for each other, and you give yourself the opportunity to be with each other, right? And then what happens is that something they do, or you do something to them in the way that you answer, in the way that you talk to them, in the way that you're behaving, in the way that you're dressing, something, you know, that the other person don't like, and immediately create some sort of like a block, like a brick, you know, and that brick is between you both. And as the relationship progresses, as the relationship continues, you both are going to start having disappointments, because remember, the polarity happens because you guys are different, not because you guys are equal, right? But the thing is that because you happen to have, you are in love, you have your emotions all the way up, then what happens is that those things create in you blockages. And those blockages are getting it's like if you are creating programs in your subconscious mind, where you're giving instructions to your subconscious mind to, I only gonna see this about this person. You know, I don't gonna see anything else. I only gonna see this situation about this person. The challenge with that is that the job of your subconscious mind is to prove you right, not to prove you wrong. So from that moment on, it's gonna show you only the things that match the information that you have in your subconscious mind, which only are gonna keep creating blocks and blocks and breaks and breaks and breaks. And eventually you have a whole wall that are separating you guys. And it's an invisible wall, but it's there, it's thick. And every time that the person screw up a little bit, the other person will react and says, you know what, this I'm not happy here, and this is not good for me, and I need to move on, and so on and so forth. Now, what happened when only one person have a wall and the other person don't have a wall? Well, the person that have a wall see it, feel it, and act like if there's a wall, right? And the other person is not seeing anything. So the other person keeps bringing energy into the relationships and keeps giving and keeps giving. And the other person now he feels guilty because don't have the polarity and compatibility with that person.
Or
So he keeps
pushes
building
away.
a bigger and a bigger and a bigger wall, you know, because they hope that eventually they're gonna figure out what they figured out before, you know, even though maybe wrong, you know, but
And like
that's
the
how
other
we
thing
are.
is like that wall causes them to actually get, whether I would see it more as like getting wider because it actually pushes the other
Yes.
away, and that obviously that doesn't do anyone.
Yes, 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 yes. Because just remember one thing: if one person wants to stay in the relationship and the other person don't want to stay, this person is doing good things for pay the person that wants to stay in. But the person that stay in feels guilt about receiving all these good things because in their mind they are very clear that they're no longer in that part of the relationship or at that level. So what happens is that they pull a little bit more. And what happens to the person that is still vested in the relationship when she or him see the loved one pulling away? It feels a void even deeper. So he wants to do more things for the person, right? Try
Well,
to
and sometimes
fix
they
things.
actually will do it not from the heart either,
Mm-hmm.
but in order to get something
And a strategy.
strategy and all that, which then creates resentment and which creates like this whole like attitude.
Yeah,
So then it's
yeah,
just energy then is just messed up
yeah.
in between.
So now we love to give you guys tools before we go deeper into the different stages of the relationship. But one of the tools is if you are still in a relationship and you start noticing that you are building a wall, the very best thing that you can do is take some time apart. Like you go and see your friends and your family, and the other person needs to go out and see their friends and their family, but then stop all communication between both of you, you know?
Yes.
Because on the first hour, it's gonna feel like a relief, you know? The first 5 hours, you start feeling like, oh, freedom, you know? This is a party, good, good, good. But then as you go through the days, you're gonna start noticing how compatible in reality you are to that person that you are letting go, you know, and how that person is compatible to you.
And like
And
one thing I'd love to add to that separation also allows for you to get connected to yourself and
oh
self-love.
yeah,
Because
oh yeah,
that's a lot of times when things like this happen, people tend to get on this cycle of wanting to, in order to doing all those things in order to make the other person happy, which then they forget about themselves. And when
well,
self-love is out the
yes,
door,
yes, but the thing here is that I try to always go a little bit deeper. You know, what is it? Why is that you are forgetting about yourself? What is the reason that you are really forgetting about yourself? Because it's not because of the other person, because
no,
the other
it's
person didn't
self-love.
push you to be in a particular
No,
way.
yeah, I see it
It,
more as
it
like a self-love, the lack of self-love.
or can be that the person getting to that relationship presenting a version of themselves that was fictitious, that
Mm.
wasn't real. And they are forced to keep this image about themselves that is not representative of the reality of who they truly are, you know? And that creates a lot of conflict because you want to put it in the other person, but it's in reality a matter of self-acceptance, right? Because when you represent yourself as something or someone that you are not, it's only because you have insecurities inside of you. It's only because you have these situations where the you are not happy and lovable with that version of yourself. You see, and so that's something that you definitely want to work on. Oh, but I am so afraid because if I present myself exactly the way that I am, he's gonna leave or she's gonna leave. Well, that's kind of better, you know, because if he don't live out of honesty and out of don't having compatibility with you, you're never gonna experience that full merge compatibility with that person either, right? Because you're always gonna have that thing inside of yourself. Let me give you an example, and this is a great example that I use with a lot of persons. Especially, and this is very noticeable in women, because women, they use makeup and they transform themselves in order to be more attractive, right? But when you change your hair, when you change your eyelashes, when you change your eyes colors, when you change your gene, you know, when you change your facial expressions, your chest, all the things that you change about yourself, you are only sending a message of, I don't accept myself the way that I am natural. And the only type of persons they're gonna be with you, it's with the persons that hollow version of yourself match with. You know, and there's nothing wrong about changing your hair color. There's nothing wrong about changing your eyes. I'm not judging that. It's like, why do you need to do it? You know, is why do you think that you are not attractive enough the way that you are naturally? Oh, because of the competition, because everybody does it. Yeah, but do you want to have the type of relationship that everybody has?
Well, I think it's also just because of the media. I mean, this is just, right, like magazines, the way that, you know, these days social media and all the filters and all these things that have, especially women that aren't accepting themselves. I mean, I'm wearing makeup, right? But like, it's one of those things where I don't wear as much makeup as I used to. I used to wear so much more makeup. I used to, like, I mean, my hair is like a frizz ball right now, and I'm just like, whatever, it is what it is. Yeah. But before, you would never see me come on like this, because of course, like, you have to be picture perfect, because that's what so many magazines and everything portray women to be.
But so this is a very important point. This is a very important point, because that is the image that they are presenting as perfection, right? Mm-hmm. So when you are perfect, you are not allowed to make mistakes.
And right? There's no such thing, but yes.
And it's not sustainable, right? It's not sustainable, right? No. So it's gonna create a lot of rage inside of you towards the only person that accepts you because of that. And then that relationship can only stay at the physical level, cannot go at the emotional level, right? Because he don't know you for who you are. He haven't accepted you for who you truly are, and you haven't presented him of who you truly are, right? Mm-hmm. So that is designed to crack. Because a relationship that is at the physical level, and this is the challenge, this is the most important part. When it's physical, you have a lot of competition, because there's gonna be so many other people around you. Let's talk about the men and the women, okay? There are gonna be so many other women around you. They're gonna look better than you. They're gonna be taller than you, shorter than you, slimmer than you, younger than you, more beautiful than you, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. It will not make you unique. It makes you part of the group, part of the competition. You are just one more, right? But when you present yourself as you truly are, remember, self-acceptance comes from within, not from the outside. If you remove the makeup and everything, and the hair color and the eyelash and all the extra stuff, and you just go out into the world, well, yeah, it's gonna be kind of threatening, right? Because you are not ready for it, right? You have to work on yourself. And believe me, makeup is kind of like, it goes with everything, right? So people are used to that. People are used to, men are used to seeing their mothers and their sisters and their cousins with makeup and without makeup. It's just that shift already happens in their mind. But what we are talking here is about the self-acceptance part. You know, it's about you being happy with who you truly are, with you presenting yourself in a way that you really know who you are and how you are, because only then you're going to be able to raise the relationship from the physical part into the emotional part. And let me tell you, what happens here is that you become unique. And it's not because of the way that you look. It's because of the way that you make them feel and that you feel about yourself, you know, because remember, everything that is male energy, it doesn't matter if it's an heterosexual or an homosexual relationship, everything that have strong male energy, a strong male energy, it's about physical insecurities, you know, and a strong female energy is about emotional connection, right? It's about nurturing. So every time that you have a person with strong male energy, it's going to be insecure. It's just part of the trait. That's how it is in the world. And you can see it in animals, and you can see it in everything that is male oriented. You know,
I thought it was the other way. I thought it would be.
Oh, no. Because remember, we present ourselves, most of the time, we present ourselves the opposite way that we are inside of us. You know, because we want to keep a facade that we can control. We stop the problems over there, not here. It's over there. So we are allowed not to feel. We are allowed not to cry. You know, we are allowed not to say the things that we think or that we feel.
Makes us,
you know,
weak and all the other stuff.
Yeah, male energy. Female energy is the opposite. Female energy is about expressing the frustration. It's about crying the pain. You know, it's about releasing out of the body that. But remember also one thing. If you were a single parent child, who do you will feel more safe? With your father or with your mother? It's obvious, right? With the mother. Yeah. It's always like that. And now, let's say that the mother is an alcoholic and drug addict and the guy is responsible. Well, you're going to feel more comfortable with the father. But most likely, the energy of the father is more female oriented and the energy of the mother is more male oriented. Right. She probably have a deeper voice and she probably acts in a way that it's a little more like a man, right? And it's aggressive and so on and so forth. And so it's about that. It's not about the gender itself. It's about the energy. Remember that this is an energy. We talk here about energies, right? So just consider that, because that's how it is. Now, consider that in order for you to learn and to understand better, you know, because usually the reason that you are not self-accepting yourself goes way back. You know, it can be something that happened to you when you were a little kid, or your parents divorced when you were just a little kid and you stayed with the wrong parent, or whatever it is.
Whatever experience, right?
Yeah, whatever experience. What is important here, and this is what we do for work, is that we heal that event. We master ourselves by going into that versions of ourselves, releasing and removing all the emotions that we are carrying because of that event, and then have a loving talk with that version of ourselves, a loving talk that says that everything is going to be okay. I'm proof of that. I'm here, you know, we survive. So it's okay. It's cool. You know, this is something that you have to live because it's going to take us to an amazing journey. So don't worry. You know, I have your back. Just go through the process, finish with it, and I'm here watching you over. You know, I'm taking care of you, you know, and when we went to therapy and we do that for that version of ourselves, everything starts shifting, everything starts changing, because it allows us to free ourselves out of all those different things that we've been carrying inside of us. You know, all the reasons that you have for not accepting yourselves, or for thinking that you are not lovable the way that you are, or you are not good enough, or beautiful enough, or smart enough, or so on and so forth. You know, it's all about that. It's all about that.
Yeah, those are the triggers that come about. Like, I mean, I know I had a lot. Like, I had that I'm not lovable, I'm not important enough.
Oh yeah, we all go through that process.
I'm not smart enough. Yeah. So all these, of course, are from childhood, and then
and remember one more thing. It is not even, most of the time it's not even real, because you have people around you telling you the opposite, you know, showing you. I mean, if you have a job, it's because someone is trusting you and giving you an opportunity because you are better than some other people, right?
Right.
If you have clients, if you have friends, if you have, you know, if you have a social circle, it's because you have acceptance, you know, and they see things in you that you are not able to see in yourself. So it's just a matter of giving yourself the opportunity to come to terms with yourself, with who you are, your skin color, your height, your weight, your everything that you represent, your age, your gender, so on and so forth, and heal it, you know, because in reality, at a spiritual level, you are the best version of yourself. You know, you are here living an experience, and that experience, it's all about feeling emotions. And the only way that you're gonna feel those emotions are to going through stuff.
Yeah.
No other way.
If everything, and I always say this, like, if everything were to be 100% amazing all the time, we wouldn't be able to actually enjoy it, because it would just be normal. Then we wouldn't actually be able to have gratitude, and we wouldn't actually feel that deep love or any of those deep high emotions, because there's no comparison. There's no that balance that you always talk about, right?
And remember the pendulum, no? The more that it swings one way, the more that it's going to swing the other. So that happens also with this. You know, if you are experiencing pain because of a breakup, or pain because you are on your own, you know, enjoy it, you know, and accept it and embrace it, so you can allow the thing to start moving to the other side. Because as long as you keep focusing in, oh, my life sucks, oh, I'm not lovable, oh, I'm never going to meet someone special, so on and so forth, it's gonna create a problem for us. You know, it's gonna create a focus, a focal point that remember that your subconscious mind work is to prove you right. So if you are only focusing on what sucks about your life, that's where you're gonna be living experiences. But if you understand that if we're living in a world of balance, and everywhere around you you experience balance, then you need to go to the other side, right? Eventually you need to shift to the other side. If you are sick, eventually you're gonna have to come to the healthy side. If you are alone, eventually you're gonna come up with the ways to find someone to spend time with. But it's depending on you. It's not depending on anybody else, because it's you who accept yourself, it's you who you feel lovable, it's you who you feel who you project a different version of yourself, you know. And it's very easy for most people when it comes to work at physical level, but sometimes it's very difficult at an emotional level, you know, because people at an emotional level, they don't believe, or they don't allow the other people to be who they are, you know. And I had that experience. I met amazing, like one person in particular. I was very in love with that woman, and I was seeing amazing things about herself, how herself to crack open and to fall into a relationship, you know. And that created a blockage that didn't allow me to go all in, because I didn't feel like I was on a safe space, you
Mm.
know, and then you start playing the messages of, well, everything happened for a good reason. If it's not happening here, it's gotta be for my own good,
Or the
and
next
I
one's
start
gonna be
pulling.
better. What can I learn from this? And all, yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is that you gotta be able to open up yourself, and the most that you invest emotionally in a relationship, the easier it's gonna be for you to find that person that can be with you, right? And that
Mhm.
is all about the relationships. Now, when
And
it doesn't work,
yeah, I was gonna, before we get to the breakups, one of the things that I also say is don't think that just because you are in a relationship or marriage that there isn't going to be a heartbreak. Because I know
oh yeah,
personally, I get heartbroken at times, but then we have communication and vice versa, right? I mean, when there's two
yeah,
human beings, like it just is, there's going to be little tips here and there. It's just,
it's not just that. It's also that for you as a woman, it's almost impossible to understand men. Like for a man, it's almost impossible to understand a woman, you know.
right.
And this is a very smart topic, and I thank you for bringing it on, because this is what happens, you know. You ladies have the blessing of going through your moon cycle every single month for the most part, right?
Right.
And the beautiful thing about that is when you are in your moon cycle, you are connected with your emotions. So since you were a little one, you've been training yourself to be emotional and to cry and to express and to retreat, and you know all the things that you go, all the different ranges of emotions that you go before you go into the period, through the period, and then coming out of the period, right? It's a whole cycle that goes one way and one goes the other. Men don't have that luxury.
Right.
Men can go through life without experiencing those type of emotions. So the only time that we as a man ex- uh, 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 feel something kind of similar, or what you ladies experience every single month, is when we have a breakup,
Mm.
when we someone close to us die, you know, we have a loss of someone. Many times, because we tend to put more value on physical stuff, so when you lose something that you really care, may do
Or
the
even a
trick.
friend, like a true, like someone that's a close friend that you just no longer
Yeah, have a
can
yeah, but
call.
as a man, you I mean, we don't get that intense in with that, right? It's like we can say
I think
things, we
it
can even
depends.
fist fight.
I've seen guys that get pretty upset over things like that.
Yeah, no, yeah, but we tend to figure out things faster, you know, easier. You
Find
know, it's
distractions.
just because none of the two guys want to really reconnect with the other. But because if you want, all you have to do is just have a talk, and you say everything, and then afterwards you give a hug, and it's like nothing happened, you know.
It's so different. It's so different
Yeah,
how we do
yeah. Even the conversations. I mean, I always recommend people to do Uber, you know, and to try for Uber or Lyft or whatever, especially when they don't understand the other gender. And I told them just do it for, because no, I don't have the need and I'm okay doing financial. Yeah, well, I know, but this is like homework, right? It's like go and put some miles in the car and drive around where young people are, or where singles are, and work, and just listen to the conversations without participating in the conversations, just like a piece of furniture, and you will get a whole understanding of how different we are. You know, you hear the conversations between men, and it's about games, it's about players, it's
Mm-hmm.
about things of work or women in general, right? And you listen to the conversations of a woman, and they are killing each other. I mean, things that are impressive. You know, believe me, I love driving with Uber here and there, because it helps me to keep fresh all the differences. You know, I'm noticing, like, for example, three ladies, middle-aged ladies, no, I probably like university age, I would say 20 years, 20 something years. This one that I have in my mind right now. And talking about each other, about the party and so on and so forth. They drop one, and with that one left, the other two killing her. You know, it's like making her pieces. It is like criticizing everything about it. And I was like, holy cow!
Not all women are like that, Jacob. Just so you know.
Well, it allows you to understand personalities.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not talking here about criticizing them. I'm talking about the type of interactions, and they go deep, and they have reasons for it. It's because of the way that she behaved with the man, or the way that she's acting, or the way the boyfriend is acting with her, and she's not putting him in his place, or so on and so forth. But it's always about an emotional connection, you know, or an emotional disconnection. And when it's about men, it didn't give a damn about the world. Even you can see a guy with shorts, just a random t-shirt and flip-flops, and then you see the lady in heels and all makeup and all looking beautiful, and then together it's like, Jesus, how does this happen, you know? But that's how it is, you know, and it's the balance, and it's the polarity, and it's the self-acceptance, you know. And you can see that the guy is very comfortable in his skin, in the way that he looks, and the lady is still kind of like on the fences, right? It's like not accepting herself that much. So, I mean, it's always about that, you know. It's always about misunderstanding, but you have to understand that. And even if it's an homosexual relationship, remember, it's two different personalities. So the way that they process emotions is different. You know, the guy, the person or the woman that is representing the male energy in the relationship is going to process the emotions in a different way. It's going to hold a lot of what she feels, or what she thinks, in order to, because we think as men that we don't want to affect her. We don't want to hurt her. So we don't tell her the things that we have inside of us for her. And that creates a pressure cooker that eventually is going to explode, right?
Or it also could be that they don't want to look weak or needy, because that's something.
Oh yeah, but when you don't want to look.
But yeah.
Yeah, but remember one thing: when you don't want to look in a particular way, it's out of insecurities.
Yeah, totally.
You know, it's about, he's not gonna like who I really am, or she's not gonna like who I really am. You know, because that is not giving you the freedom that you need to be in a real relationship. In a real relationship, I always this is a little bit gross, guys, and I apologize for it, but it's very important, you know, at psyche level, you know. When a man and a woman are able to fart, you know, in front of each other, that's when you reach that level of acceptance. You know, that's when you reach that level of, I can truly be who I am and be accepted, you know. Because without it, you're gonna say, oh, he's gonna think that I'm a pig, and oh my God, he's gonna make fun of me, and he's gonna take to all his friends, and so on and so forth. You don't have that trust,
right?
You know, and believe me, we all fart, you know, even the Pope, you know, we all go through that process. It's a natural
human
process.
nature, yes.
Yeah, but it's something that will really change the dynamic of a relationship. Another exercise that I share with couples, especially when they are together, when they're living together, it's first thing in the morning when you say good morning, just tell to each other, how can I make you happy today? You know?
Love that.
And then at the end of the day, when you say your goodbyes, is like, did I make you happy today? This creates the shift in your brain that change everything, because when you know that someone is going to ask you if you make it happy today, you're going to be more aware of the person's need. you know, and it's like no one is obligating you to do it. It's like you are saying it because it's important for you, and also it's gonna bring that connection to each other. And to do this exercise properly, you have to be facing each other, looking into the eyes of each other, and just saying it. And whatever the other person says back to you, there's no right to reply. There's no right to justify yourself. You just listen and marinate all night about the things that she or he is telling you, because that's gonna help you to become more compatible with that person. It's gonna help you to
focus
blend.
on that too.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that we used to do is actually say, how can I support you today? So then talk about
yeah,
it.
but
yeah, happy. I like that.
Happy and support is more physical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what I want is that emotional connection, because the emotional connection is what make you and what make the other person that you are with unique.
Yeah. No,
down here,
down
here, you know, there's plenty of options. You know, and when I say down and up, I'm talking about your energetic circuits, you know, your lower chakras or your higher chakra. It's down on the physical level, there's always choices. That up at this other level, pretty much they're unique. There's no other person that is gonna be able to make you feel that way, you know. One of the things that I talk usually with people is when a woman is helping her man to finish their degree or to open a business or so on and so forth, you know, be very aware, because if you start on arguments, throwing information about, oh, but I did this for you, and I've been supporting you, and I've been forgetting about myself to help you, and so on and so forth, you're gonna push that man away. And most of the times, and unfortunately, it's kind of like a rule, you know, that the person that helps a man to become successful is not the person that end up with that man. And it's because of insecurities. Because the men usually start working for someone else that don't have the history, don't have the past. You know, they can only have this new version of himself, the successful version of himself, and the future. That is not about when you were having a hard times trying to figure out life and all the mistakes that you made before you reach the level that you are.
And what I've also seen is they stay, if anything, they stay because of guilt. Like that's another thing that I've noticed is like those.
Well, no, because you can do it. You can do it together. I mean, and you can we are doing this together. You know, I am sacrificing myself for you, and then you're gonna sacrifice yourself for me. You know, it's like each other. And if you have that thing about making yourself happy at all times, or at least having in your mind that part of your job is to make that other person happy, things change, things move, you know. And then on top of that, if you don't throw those things that you are doing for that person into an argument, you are solidifying that you are not bringing it down to a physical level. Because remember, if you bring that argument into a relationship, is like, oh, I've been investing my time, my freedom, my money in you, so I'm expecting a return.
Totally. And it
so
becomes
that
a tit for tat rather than like
it's physical,
unconditional,
right?
Yeah, it's transactional, physical, totally. Yeah,
exactly.
And even in friendships, I'm the same way. I'm like, as soon as there's that, and I have to actually think about it, then I'm like, this isn't working, because I'm the kind of person that's like, I like to do it unconditionally without
exactly because you want to keep it here.
What did you do for me? And
totally. If it is transactional, it's physical. If it is unconditional, it's emotional, and you want to remain in that level. You know, you definitely want to remain in that level, at the emotional level, so you can keep yourself at a level that you are unique and the other person that you are with is unique. Yeah. Like no one else, doesn't matter how beautiful they are, small, short, you know, so on and so forth, they are better than you. Right. You know, we're running out of time, and we still need to go for the breakup. So let's leave the breakup for the next week.
Breakups next week. Okay.
Yeah, because
today
that's
was
gonna take us a lot of time. Yeah.
But I mean, no wonder, because relationships, I mean, it is a big topic. It's important, and it's not just romantic relationships. There's relationship with friends, with family. Everything. I mean, relationship is everything in our life. It's how we connect to people. So this is a huge topic. So I'm glad we talked about it, and love to see if anybody has any questions before we really run out of time. Looks like
and the beautiful thing is that today we have our meditation, and part of the journey of self-acceptance starts with that, you know, of getting to know yourself, of healing yourself, and forgiving and ask for forgiveness about things that you have done towards yourself and others. So our meditation gives you the opportunity to reach those levels, you know. So please, I encourage you to join us. Later on, Anuschka and I are gonna post what people that are experiencing the meditations are thinking about it, what they are experiencing about it, and the investment is minimal. You know, it's just $20.
Yep.
It's only $20 and can totally change you. It can totally transforms you. You know. Because remember, we are all the best version of ourselves, so we just need to learn how to communicate with our own selves and become blend of the physical and emotional self.
Yes, that perfect balance.
The perfect balance. Yes.
Well, thank you all so much for watching, and we hope to see you tonight if you're pulled to join.
Mm-hmm. Bye. Bye-bye, everybody.